This is crazy. I know we always talk about crazy stuff that happens. This is one of the craziest things I've ever heard. And the title of this is that cosmetic surgeons are not real. Have you ever heard that thing, birds aren't real?
Yes.
Cosmetic surgeons aren't real. And let me tell you why. Let me tell you the why I titled that this, because I saw an article and it was talking about a $13 million malpractice verdict made against a cosmetic surgeon, which immediately I was like, that's not a plastic surgeon.
Is this the cosmetic surgeon?
Yeah, that's her. Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. So this and so all of this, is all this was in court. So I guess it's considered fact. But this is, I'm reporting. I don't know firsthand. But man, this one really is just unbelievable. So that was Dr. Kristine Brecht in Washington State. Recently was in court for a malpractice case of which a $13 million verdict was made against her.
Gosh,
so I want to tell you guys about this. And as I know you guys know more than the average person now because you've been hanging out with me too long, but I want to know what you guys think about it. So first off, this person had a 2-day surgery. 2-day surgery. Surgery on one day, and then the rest of the surgery was done on the next day. Does that sound odd to you?
Yes.
So the surgery included a tummy tuck, an arm lift, a breast lift, and liposuction of 9 different areas. And this was all done over 2 different days. So the patient was also a poorly controlled diabetic and also a smoker. It was reported that the surgeon took off too much skin on both the abdomen and the arms when they did the resection, and they couldn't get things closed easily. They also did all of this surgery under local anesthesia. No general anesthesia. The surgeon allegedly used handcuffs and weights to restrain the patients during surgery from moving.
Oh no, that sounds terrible.
Can you believe that?
Next year, you're going to be like, and we also found out it was in a basement.
Can you believe that? Dude,
and actually not Washington State, Florida.
No, it was Washington State. So that's a good guess. Like if that happened,
was the patient from Florida?
No, I think she was
Is
from
she
Washington State.
actually from Florida? The doctor?
I'll have to look that up.
We need to look that up.
Seriously, it's got to be some Florida connection here.
Those alligators are manipulating these people.
I feel bad for Florida. I don't know, but I'm going to go look it up because I want to say that
Something
she
in
wasn't
that
from
water.
Washington State. So obviously this patient had a very, very bad outcome. There's just so much wrong with this. I mean, as you guys, I can see your expression on your faces. So obviously a 2-day surgery, that's kind of unheard of.
But she was older too.
No, the patient was actually at a respectable age.
Okay.
I think 30s and
Mid-age.
40s.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've talked about how doing too much surgery at once is a bad thing.
For
I mean,
sure.
this is crazy. Tummy tuck, arm lift, breast lift, and liposuction of 9 areas. Even if it's over 2 days, that's crazy.
So she was pretty much like on a lot of drugs for like 2 days straight.
Yeah. A poorly
Heavy
controlled
dosed.
diabetic, I mean, that is a huge, huge warning flag. Like, operating on diabetics that are well controlled is risky. It's you're rolling the dice. On a poorly controlled diabetic, like you're just asking for.
Because they have to eat. And
Right.
she was under.
The problem is, and I think I've mentioned this before, is like when your blood sugar gets high, which is what happens in diabetes, your ability to fight infection and heal wounds goes into the toilet.
Right.
And so you do all these surgeries on somebody that's a poorly controlled diabetic. The stress of surgery shoots their blood sugar up into like 600. I mean, they can go into diabetic ketoacidosis for one, but even if they don't do that, like their ability to heal and fight infection just is in the crapper. And so, yeah, that's a huge problem. A smoker, that's a huge problem. I mean, I will do surgery on a smoker if it's something simple. Like, I just literally had this conversation the other day because I had a girl that was a smoker that came in for breast augmentation. And I was like, look, you really shouldn't smoke. It does affect your healing, but being completely honest, an incision this big is going to heal no matter what. And, it puts you at more risk if you're smoking, but I'll do your surgery. But there are certain surgeries I won't do if you're a smoker. Like a tummy tuck, no way, man. Those people will have huge problems. So, I mean, these are just so many warning signs. Also, the fact that she took off too much skin, like that just makes me know for a fact that she doesn't have any idea what she's doing. Like that is like plastic surgery 101 to not take off so much skin that you can't close something.
You can't.
I mean, that's
can't
just
just
insane.
have.
The fact that you're doing it under local anesthesia, enormous warning sign. I would rather punch myself in the face 20 times and try to do a tummy tuck under local. Number one, it's dangerous. Number two, it would just be miserable for patient and doctor. And okay, why did you do it under local? Smart people. I know you know the answer to this. Why did you do it under local?
It's cheaper.
She's not board certified.
Bam.
Not board certified.
She couldn't get into a facility. All right, so you guys want to take a guess? So she was touting herself as a cosmetic surgeon, a board-certified cosmetic surgeon on her webpage. Allegedly, it's been taken down. Anyone would take a guess what kind of doctor she was? Do you think she was a surgeon?
Chiropractor?
She was a dermatologist.
Yeah, I was about to say she's a doctor of dermatology.
She's a doctor. She is a doctor, but she's not a surgeon. Dermatologists are not surgeons. I don't care what anyone says. They do learn very minor procedure stuff, like taking off moles and stuff. This is major surgery. This is huge surgery.
Yeah, tummy tuck is very serious.
I mean, what in the world?
Did she learn how to do this surgery on like YouTube? What's
I don't know.
happening?
I mean, she probably did some like weekend thing. I mean, that's, I've talked about that before. There are these weekend courses where you can learn how to do procedures. I mean, they're totally unregulated and unlicensed. I mean, it's sketchy as anything, man.
I will say this: if she had just watched Nip Talk, she would have
Dude,
probably
she
been.
would have known not to do this.
She would have been well, because we talked about all of it: the diabetic,
Yeah.
preconditions that you can have, multiple surgeries in one go, local anesthesia, and like being a smoker and stuff like that. We talked about all of that on previous shows.
Dude, right? I mean, everyone should watch Travis. You know it.
She missed the boat.
She missed it. I don't feel bad for this lady at all. Like, a lot of times when we talk about doctors, I'm like, oh, I feel bad for them. I do not feel bad for this lady whatsoever. Her license was suspended. She got slapped with a $13 million lawsuit. Honestly, I feel like
I think the biggest red flag were the cuffs and weights.
I literally, that's what this says.
Like,
I was like, what? I mean, but you can imagine, like, I mean, because she was giving people like Valium and stuff to like kind of knock them down, and also to like kind of erase their memory is what the court said. But then, like, people get kind of wild, so like she was restraining them. And I can't imagine it was metal handcuffs. I mean, in medicine we have these things called wrist restraints, and we use them for patients like that, or say like a trauma patient that has a head injury that's in the ICU. Like, we do restrain patients because they can pull out tubes and literally kill themselves by.
They're like, where am I?
Yeah, right. So I assume that they were soft restraints, but I mean, this is just crazy. As I said, I do not feel bad for this Dr. Brecht at all. Like, reading this is just, I mean, I feel like she should have
Her picture looks like she's from Florida.
Oh gosh.
I feel like she should honestly have criminal charges against her. Like,
No.
Like, I think that, like, this goes beyond just malpractice. This is like wanton endangerment of a human being. So,
Like, that's like, it's almost like murderous.
murderous, yes. Well, I mean, like assault.
Yes, I'm going to do this sketchy surgery that I learned
Dude.
off the internet.
So,
Like,
obviously we
what?
talked about all these things, but once again, cosmetic surgeons are not real. If someone says they're a cosmetic surgeon, that's not a real thing. Like, there's no such thing. There's plastic surgeons, and then there's everything else. Like, if cosmetics, it's just not real. Like, I just knew when I saw that title, it's like, this person's going to be an OBGYN or, something else, like not a plastic surgeon. Because no one would make these super bad decisions that knew what they were doing. I mean, I read these things, I was like, oh my God, that girl's lucky she's not dead. I mean, this is just out of bounds.
It almost kind of seems like she would be.
She's lucky she's not.
And like, her family's the one that's like suing.
Yeah.
That's like, honestly, I would not be
well,
surprised.
I love this $13 million verdict against this person, because the article and the court brought out the fact that she's not properly trained to do these. Like, they had a laundry list of complaints, but that was like the major thing.
I wonder if there's any more about her.
I don't know. We can look it up.
Like that doctor. I'm going to find out if she's from Florida.
You are not letting this go.
She has to be.
Please let me know. I mean, you can look it up. I want to say she wasn't from Washington, but I don't remember, because it took me a while to figure out what kind of doctor she was, because I knew she wasn't a plastic surgeon. I knew it she wasn't. So I had to like start digging and see, okay, what's her board certification? She's a dermatologist. But she didn't even do, like, sometimes people will do like a little surgery preceptorship. She didn't really mention any of that, but I don't know. That was terrible. That's like one of the worst. I'm happy that the girl won this verdict. I'm happy that this girl lost her license, which I rarely say that, but this is just beyond the pale. I'm on my soapbox today.
That one was bad.
Rightfully so. Yeah, that was really bad.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
Cosmetic surgeons aren't real, people. Remember that.